Hi, I'm Mike Lardy.
I'm Daniel Mears, and today we're talking about finding the team that God has for you to disciple. Now, one of the things we find as the most difficult for disciple makers is finding the people that God has for them to disciple. You'd think in this world with so many people, it wouldn't be so difficult. But the reality is that for most Christians and most people who are in the church today, we get so involved in church and we get involved in groups and Bible studies and serving and events that most times 90% of our free time is spent with other people that are just like us, that believe just like us, that are in the same stage of life as we're in. And it makes it difficult then to find people outside of that sphere of people in our church to disciple. And so one way that you can break that mold is to be intentional about it. That word we use a lot of time. But to be intentional about it would be start spending a little bit of your free time outside of the church and outside of events and outside of groups in the church. Get to know people, meet people. Ways you can do that: get involved in a community group or a service group or a club or a hobby group, or a sports team, or an athletic event, or even something as simple as when you walk around Lake Gregory or you're at the grocery store. Instead of just having your eyes down fixed on what you're doing, make friends, get people's names, the faces that you see over and over again at the lake and at the store. Meet them, get to know them, remember their name. And that's some of the way that you can begin to find the team that God has for you.
Now, the goal of biblical relational discipleship is to produce healthy and mature disciples of Jesus Christ who we can then commission and send out to do the very same process with others. And chances are, those people are going to need your help finding people to disciple. And so, as we look around, we want to see people who are hungry for discipleship. We want to find people who can replenish our groups when they naturally branch into something new. And so, Daniel and I shared this with you over the summer, if you were in the Disciple Makers summer course, but I want to share it again here. It's just how to fish, because Jesus said that he would make us fishers of men. And so I found that there's three places, similar to what Daniel's talking about. I found that there's three places where that happens, and they're metaphors. They are a metaphor for fishing. And so one place is the pond, and then another place is the lake, and then even yet another place is the ocean. And so, relationally speaking, the pond is just your close-knit circle of friends and family. And you want to find people who are either eager to follow Jesus, or maybe they want to be discipled to become like him. Approach those people about discipleship. The next place you can fish is the lake. And so, relationally speaking, the lake is where you're going to find acquaintances. And these are people in your neighborhood. These are people that you work with. These are people even at church, at Woodlands. You can find acquaintances in those places. People that want to go deeper with Jesus, look for those and approach them about discipleship. And then the final place is the ocean. And so this is anything and anybody outside of your normal acquaintances. And typically what happens is God will drop these people in your path.
Yep.
And not only that, he'll give you courage to talk to them. So find out what they're about. They're usually open-minded. Find out what they're hungry for. And they're usually, I find, they're really eager for meaningful relationships. And so the lake, the pond, the ocean, those are the places where you're going to find people. But how do you get them into your group? Well, you got to build a bridge.
Awesome point, Mike. We use this term bridge as another metaphor illustration of how to take people from an acquaintance or friendship into discipleship. You know, if you're just getting to know someone, it can be hard to move them from acquaintance to discipleship, where you're teaching them about Jesus and showing them how to live their life for Jesus through intentional relational discipleship. But one of the best ways that you can take the next step is to use what we call a bridge. And what a bridge is it's just something that you use, you come up with in your mind, something that you create as a way to get to know the person better and build an even deeper relationship. It could be something as simple as meeting someone for coffee, inviting them over for dinner, walking the lake with them, inviting them to a baseball game, going on a hike with them, taking them fishing. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You're only limited by your own creativity. But use bridge events or bridge opportunities in your life to intentionally move someone from a acquaintance relationship or a little friendship to a deeper relationship. And as you build those bridges through sharing your life and sharing their life together, then you'll have the opportunity to invite them to be on your team as a part of the people, the men and women that you're discipling.
Exactly. And so if you're not making disciples right now, Dan and I just want to encourage you to start using these tips. Make one step this week. Branch out, go outside of your normal realm of people that you're comfortable being around,
Yep.
and just approach one person. Don't have to approach them about discipleship, but just approach them to get to know them on that intentional level. And so those of you who are making disciples, we are stoked. We are just so encouraged. The stories that are coming out of groups are just mind-boggling to us, and we love it. And so I found that there's a verse when I was thinking about that video we made a couple weeks ago about being a coach.
Yeah.
Worth following. We want to encourage you to continue to be that.
Yeah.
And I found a verse in Proverbs. It's Proverbs 11:30, and it says this. It says, "The fruit of righteousness is a tree of life, and he who is wise captures souls." And I just love that because that's what you're doing. You are winning souls through discipleship. So keep going, keep at it. And this is it for this video for this week. We encourage you to leave us a comment. Share with us what has been an effective bridge for you. What got you into discipleship, or what got you into church? Share with us that bridge in the comments below there, and we'll see you next week.